Happy Friday, my darlings, and welcome to our lesson review for today. Today's lesson review is actually pretty short because you have tons of stuff to do. There's some assessments I need you to take and spelling tests that's in there. So there's tons of stuff. So in order for you to have time to do all that, we won't be together very long because I want you to focus on getting that done and turned into Miss Plan. So let's get started. Good morning, my peeps. I hope you're having a great Friday. If it's Friday afternoon when you watch this, and I hope you had a good day as well. In the first page of your packet, you will find the story, The Disappearing Moon. Miss Bland is going to make the story bigger and in color on the screen, and I'm going to read it to you. You can read along with me on your screen, or you can read along in your packet. Your choice. Let's get started. The Disappearing Moon. Oh, sorry, went too fast. It is written by Dory Butler and illustrated by Roberta Collar Morales. Remember, authors write books and illustrators do our lovely artwork. And there's some very pretty artwork in the story. The table of contents. That means there's going to be two chapters that we're going to cover. The first one's called The Scared Squirrel. It starts on page 4. The second one is called The Wise Old Owl, and it starts on page 10. The Scared Squirrel. Squirrel was scared. He could not eat. He could not sleep. He could only worry. What is the matter, Squirrel? Asked Raccoon. Why are you so worried? Haven't you noticed? Asked Squirrel. The moon is disappearing. We need to get all the food we can before it's too late. Dear Raccoon. Deer and Raccoon looked up at the moon. The moon is not disappearing, said Raccoon. Yes, it is, said Squirrel. It is smaller than it was last night. Just wait. Tomorrow it will be even smaller. The next night, the animals looked at the moon. Is the moon really getting smaller? Asked Deer. I don't know, said Raccoon. But there was no question a few nights later. The moon really was smaller. Squirrel is right, said Raccoon. The moon is disappearing. Now all the animals are alarmed. What is this I hear about the moon disappearing? Asked Skunk. Look, Squirrel pointed up at the moon. Only 3/4 of the moon was left now. It is disappearing, said Skunk. The Wise Old Owl, Chapter 2, page 10. A few nights passed and only half of the moon was left. The animals feared the moon would soon disappear. After a week, their fears came true and the moon disappeared. They all ran to the wise old owl to tell him that the moon had disappeared. You're all very silly, said Owl. Gather around and I will teach you a lesson about the moon. There are two things you need to know about the moon, said Owl. First, the moon does not shine on its own. The sun lights up the moon. Second, the moon does not sit still in the sky. It moves around the earth. That's important to remember. Please circle that paragraph at the end of page 11. Circle the whole paragraph. You're going to need that in Seesaw and later on. Oh, yes, said Owl. There's one thing you need to know. The moon is like a ball. The sun can only light up one side of the moon. So when the moon moves around the earth, you only see the part of the side the sun lights up. So he's giving him a lesson. He even got out a flashlight to give his son. Owl went on to say that sometimes you only see half of the lighted side. It's called a half moon. He said, other times you see all of the lighted side. That is called a full moon. And sometimes you do not see the lighted side at all. You see the dark side. That is called the new moon. And if you'll circle this and write the word seesaw there is an activity in Seesaw where you're going to be matching those moon types. But don't worry, the moon did not disappear, said Owl. Soon after a new moon, you will see a small part of the lighted side come back. The other animals began to feel better after listening to Owl talk. A few nights after Owl's lesson, the animals were out playing. Squirrel looked up and saw a small sliver of the moon. Owl was right, Squirrel yelled. The moon is coming back. The moon grew bigger each night. Soon there was a full moon again. The animals had a full moon party. All right, that's our story. You may read the story again with an adult to make sure you have mastered it before you move on to your day's activities. You have a cause and effect, 3 boxes. They have given you the effect. Your job is to determine the cause. So, what caused the animals? Because the animals thought the moon was disappearing. So, they thought the moon was disappearing. Why? What led them to think it was disappearing? When they looked up, what did they see happening? Second one, the animals saw only part of the moon. What caused them to only see part of the moon? What was the cause? And the last one, the animals felt better. What happened that made them feel better? The second part tells us to talk about the different phases of the moons. We did this part together, so you guys will have the same option of copying this down. When we see a new moon, it is totally dark. We see no moon at all. For a half moon, we see half of it, see one side. For a full moon, we see all of the moon. And some of the boys and girls did color their whole moon, but I just did. And then, of course, this is how it looks in my house right now. We went to an app called Moon Giant, and Moon Giant told us that today we were going to have a waxing crescent tonight. So we drew it. It means we're going to see that little sliver like squirrels saw when it started to come back. So you look out tonight and see if Moon Giant, which was an online thing, is right, and see if it really was a waxing crescent tonight. So you may pause here to complete this page and get this copied down, and then continue on. Questions 1 through 4, please make sure you answer them to the best of your ability. Remember, they don't have to be complete sentences, but they do need to be a complete thought. Of course, Ms. Blaine got you started with number 1. Is the story realistic fiction or is it fantasy? Some of the boys and girls were like, fantasy, because the animals talk. They do talk, but we got some real facts about the moon. That made it realistic fiction. Gave them real moon facts. That's the realistic part. And then, of course, fiction because the animals did talk. Be sure you answer questions 1 through 4. Your quick check has 5 multiple choice questions, and number 6, of course, is a fill in. Why did the animals have a party at the end of the story? They had a full moon party. But why? Maybe we should have a full moon party. That'd be kind of cool. Your writing assignment for today. Your writing assignment for today is informative. It says this week we've learned lots of facts about the moon and the sun. Beside each symbol, write a strong, informative paragraph about some of the facts you've learned. You should have at least 3 sentences for each. Use facts from the week. Your teacher will be looking for strong sentences, capital letters in the right places, and good use of periods and punctuation. I'll be looking for all of those. So I have assigned you some books in Epic if you need some extra facts. You also have your package stuff. You can also go online with mom and dad, whatever works. But write me 2 good paragraphs about the sun and about the moon. Can't wait to read them. Now, this page is in Seesaw. In Seesaw, there's an activity that says Eureka task cards. The task cards are in there. They give you a task. It may say, the first one, I already have an answer. It says 79 arrow plus 10. We know 10 more than 79 is 89. So on the paper, all you have to write is the answer. You don't have to draw the arrows. You don't have to draw the number, write the numbers, just the answer. So Ms. Blaine has given you the first 2. That means you only have 18 left for you to do. That will be counted as a quiz grade. Please take your time and do it well. You have some word problems. This week, Ms. Bland is not making it mandatory for you to use the arrow method on these. You may use whatever method you like to find your answer. As long as there's an equation, you will be given full credit. Same thing here. You do not have to do the tape and number bonds if you do not choose to, but I do need the equation and the answer in that 3rd box. So there's a grand possibility that some of you will use this box to show your work, and then some of you will just go and give me the equation and the answer. I know some of you are very mental math minded, and I'm okay with either one for today. And your test. Your test has 2 arrow methods at the top, and then there are 3 math problems in the middle. I have given an example for the first one. You are trying to equal out on both sides. I had 26, and on the other side of the equal sign, I had 56. I had to find out how many more I needed from 26 to get to 56. 26, 36, 46, 56, 10, 20, 30. I needed 30 more, so that was 3 10s. You will do the same to make sure it balances. What's on one side of the equal sign has to be the same as what's on the other side of the equal sign. That was just an extra example. So I did another example with the boys and girls to make sure they were okay. So there were some questions. So we did another one. There was 3 10s and 5 1s plus some number, and it equals 75. So 35 plus what would get me to 75? 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 10, 20, 30, 40. So it would be 4 10s, which is 40. So it's just another example for you there. So you got tons of work in Seesaw. You have a spelling test in Seesaw, you have a fluency check in Seesaw, you have your spelling fluency sentences if you didn't do them yesterday in Seesaw, you have your math task cards in Seesaw, you have the Epic books you can read in Epic. You have tons to do. So I want you to do it and I want you to do it well. As soon as you finish it, I want you to enjoy your weekend. So if you work hard, you should be done fairly soon and your weekend can begin. If you need something, Miss Bland is right here. I'll be working on next week's stuff. So I'm a computer tap away. So just let me know if I can help you in any way. I more than gladly will. If not, I will see you bright and early on Monday morning, 8:30. Same place, same Zoom link. My ring light, look, my ring light's on my eyeballs. Um, I will see you in the same place, same time. Let me know if I can do anything for you. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Love you all. Stay safe. Do something fun. Smile a lot, laugh a lot, and love your family.